Boy, we got a full show today. We got a lot of games to cover. Major League Baseball games in primetime. Yankees, Rays. We'll have picks on that game, as well as the Dodgers, Padres. Looks like Clevenger will start. Lamet will not play in the NLDS. So Clevenger to start here in game number 1. And of course, we got that big game, Lakers and Heat, game number 4. We'll have picks on those, as well as some of the games, even for tomorrow morning, as well as NFL and college football. But I'd like to go to the green room here as we got our pick dogs here ready to come in with some plays. Damon Sauce will join us bottom of the hour as well on the show. And we got a lot to cover here. Guys, we wanted to cover some of the finals here for today. Looks like Atlanta draws first blood 9-5 behind a 6-run 7th inning. Marlins going up to the 4-1 lead, but Atlanta was able to get some runs late and take game 1 of that series. And of course, right now we have a game in progress. Houston and Oakland. It's the Astros 5-2 over the Oakland Athletics. Pitching change now. Manea out for Oakland, and of course, almost 100-degree weather in LA, and the balls are flying out of that park. You know, the thin air this time of the year, hot weather. It feels like spring training weather here in Southern California, the way the ball is flying. As we'll continue as we get the show started here. As I said, guys, on our show drive-through, a lot of picks. We break down some of the primetime games, and of course, this time of the year, since we have a thinner schedule, we also bleed over into the NFL and college football for this week. And speaking of college football, let's get the show started and welcome Alex Smart to the show. Alex, how you doing? Keep an eye on some of this early baseball today.
Yeah, I'm not completely surprised. And what is it? Mattress Mike Mike keeps on laying cash on Houston. He's going to get some of his money back from last year, it looks like. So let's see where that goes.
Yeah, that looks that way. And of course, I'm scratching myself. I'm in SoCal. It's been like 100-degree weather here, and the ball just flies out of that ballpark. It's like, as I said, it's just like spring training type of situation down in Arizona. The ball's flying out of that park. You can see the bat. I've been at games in Dodger Stadium when it's hot like this, and it's amazing how fast that ball leaves the infield when you're watching the games.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff going on all the time. You've got to be always aware of these things. Sometimes we take in so much data, and our minds, we're a biological, AI machines type thing, and we're trying to take in as much as we can. And then there's the obvious one. We're sitting there and go, shit, that was an obvious one. And anyway, I hope you got a part of that.
Yeah, I did. The second time I did. The first time I was like shaking my head. I'm watching this. I'm just like, oh, that's right. They're in Dodger Stadium. Houston and Oakland. I see in LA, and it just didn't cross my mind. It just for some reason. I know in these type of situations, that's when you see the ball flying, and they're flying out here out of the park today. What do you think of this Atlanta game? The Braves able to come back. Marlins, they have to really win one of these first 2 games, or else they get into the bottom of their pitching order, and that's where they have trouble.
Well, they've shown us all season long that this team is, for real. In a shortened season anyway, it would have been interesting to see them during an entire 162-game schedule. But, this was quite interesting. And I think, I'll tell you the truth, you have to look at it straight up. I'm not looking at like there's a lot of value with Miami in this series. I know we all love the underdog and we love value, but Atlanta's just got that feel about them this year. And they look like they're out to, serious business is going on here.
Now, we saw in Monday Night Football last night, we saw the Patriots go down to the KC Chiefs. So the Patriots defense, I thought, did a good job of keeping the team in there. But Hoyer, really didn't get much work with the first string reps in practice. We get this Cam Newton a positive test late in the week. And of course, Patriots 2-2 got some dilemma here moving forward.
Yeah. Well, of course, we're not looking at the same Patriots, but we're still looking at Belichick on the sidelines, and that makes a heck of a difference. And I wouldn't count the Patriots out yet. And I look for some value here because of the recency bias of these losses. I look for some value in their next game out.
All right, next game out, of course, this team that's really suffering here, these Atlanta Falcons, off to another 0-4 start. Can't get the offense going in Green Bay.
Yeah, much to my chagrin because, I thought the way Ryan was ticking off everybody on a consistent basis in those first 3 games, and then how the Packers really, their defense was not operating all that well. I think it was allowing close to 6.9 yards. And, there was, and there was nobody in the stadium at Green Bay. So, it wasn't really a home field advantage. It didn't feel like one, or maybe Lambeau just has that that aura about it, and Rodgers keyed off of it, and so did in Green Bay as a team.
Absolutely. All right, Alex, you're gonna take a look here at a game Friday night college football. This one over on ESPN in an ACC contest between Louisville on the road here facing Georgia Tech. We're seeing Louisville anywhere from 4 to 4.5 point favorites. Total sits here at 64. Of course, Georgia Tech, a team that's transitioning in year 2 of that triple option. Louisville, inconsistent play at the quarterback position. Now Louisville's on the road in this one. How do you see it?
Well, I don't think Louisville's ready to lay points anywhere on the road just yet, and Georgia Tech's not as bad as maybe we think they are. And it takes some time. Like in horse racing, how does it go? Off a layoff, third time's a charm, fourth time, fourth game out, or fourth turn at running your horse. Usually, that horse, if it's pedigree, it'll really show its colors. And I have a feeling G-Tech is really not being respected here. I think they're a lot better than people think they are. They're giving them credit for it. And I'm going out on a limb. I'm saying they're pedigree, and I think we're going to see an uptrend from Georgia Tech going on as this season progresses.
Absolutely. Of course, looking at Louisville, that they've dropped 2 in a row as we see them lose to Pitt. After that loss to Miami, that was a tough loss because that was prime time. There was a lot of hope for this team. A second year for the coach in that program, and they kind of laid an egg there against Miami. We'll see. And of course, it bled over to the next game against Pitt.
Yeah, and Louisville's quarterback's not 100%. He's key to the team, and moving forward from here, you have to remember, G-Tech's put up 400 yards plus an offense, and they're I think in top 10 and I don't know how many categories right now. It's kind of hard to believe they're not doing as well. I think what we're looking at is, like I said, like a thoroughbred horse. This is actually a pretty good team. I know people are probably chuckling a little bit right now, but you're going to see Georgia Tech surprise some people as the season goes on. That's my call anyway.
Yeah, they're definitely balanced in the passing. It's no longer that run for as many times as many yards as passes. They pretty much even it out. They're throwing for 233 yards. That's kind of a step in modernizing the offense there for Georgia Tech. So you got. I agree with you. I see some promise, especially that first game. I know they beat a down Florida State team, but I think this is the team that's moving the right direction.
Yeah, when I look, that one game where I saw the biggest issues I had with Louisville was they should have been primed for that Miami game, and they should have been ready to play. And instead, they looked like asleep at the wheel. And that told me something about the coaching staff, the way the team thinks is on a whole. And that's why I just don't appreciate them here as road favorites. I don't think they deserve that respect yet. So
I agree with you, RK. So the pick coming in here from Alex is taking Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets plus the 4.5 against Louisville Cardinals. That's your Friday game on ESPN. All right, Alex, we see over at Pig Dogs Premium, you've always put top performances here over at the site. What do you have going as we approach the bottom of the hour? What do you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
NBA, and we got to bounce back in the NBA. Lately with the NBA, I have really not picking my spots, and you get into a zone, and you're just looking for that groove again. And hopefully, I get my groove back again tonight. It's been it's been an up and down season. I started really slow, came back with a huge run, close to 60% the last, even including the bubble, dating back into if I can spit this out in the middle of the winter. And after a really, really slow start, I was down like 16, 17 units, and now we're way back up again. So let's get back in the zone before this season finishes, and join me for that, please.
All right, guys, so check out Alex Smart over at Pig Dogs Premium. I've been in this racket several years. Big better. I call him a professional better first and handicapper second because he definitely moves big money. He has for several years. He'll get you on the right side of games. All right, Alex, as always, great having your show. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you in a couple days.
Take care, Tony. Bye-bye.
All right, our buddy Alex Smart here on our drive-through show. All right, guys, a lot more picks coming. We got that Laker game in. We're also going to have a look at the Yankees and Rays, and as well as the Dodger-Padres game, and more football here as we continue here on the drive-through. I'm going to take a look here at an NFL game. Steelers and Eagles kicking off here, and I'm going to go ahead and lay the lumber here. I like Pittsburgh here -7. I know they're coming off the bye week. Their 3-0 defense has been strong, holding opponents just under 290 yards a game, and their fourth in the red zone. The run game is effective here, and that'll open up plays for Big Ben in the passing game. But the Eagles really dealing with major injuries to the receiving core. Defensively, it's a tough spot here. Back-to-back road games after playing all the way on the West Coast, coming on Sunday night, coming back home and having to go up to Pittsburgh. And of course, remember the Eagles did drop that game to the Rams 37-19. And look, they beat a 49ers team utilizing a backup quarterback, and their offense only gained 267 yards. I'm going to look here at the Steelers in this one. All right, continue here on the drive-through. We have a lot more coming up. And right now, it's time to bring in another one of our pick dogs. So his name is Shane. Shane, you'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Shane, how you doing today?
Good. How are you guys? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Can't complain. I just get over your thoughts here on some of this football we've seen over the weekend. Of course, a lot of problems with this Cowboy team.
Yeah, the Cowboys have got a lot of issues, and I don't know. I was actually talking to a couple of my buddies this weekend, and one of them is a Packers fan who had Mike McCarthy, and he kept saying that Mike McCarthy needs a year or two to get his system really in. But with the way that defense is playing, I don't know if his system is going to help at all. That defense needs to turn around quicker. This is going to be a team that misses the playoffs. But then again, I guess they do play in the NFC East, where you might only need 6 wins to make the playoffs the way the season has started.
That is true. That is true. And, of course, you're up there in Minnesota. A slow start for the Vikes, but they get one on the board here. How patient will we be with Zimmer here as they change the defense?
That's a $1 million question up here in Minnesota. And the question is I don't think he gets fired this in season. But are they going to be willing to give the young guys Zimmer another year to work with this young guys? I think we're going to have to see some big improvements out of that secondary, which is supposed to be Zimmer's strength if he wants to have another shot next year with this team.
All right, here joined here by Shane Nicola here on the drive-through. Shane, you're going to give us a pick here from college football Saturday. We got a big one here from the SEC, the early games. It's Florida and Texas A&M. This will be on ESPN. Florida here favored on the road, 6.5 in some places. There are some 7s. It's early in the week, so there's going to be some variances in the line, so shop those numbers. Total 56.5, 57. Of course, A&M coming off that game against Alabama. How do you see this one, Shane?
Yeah, this is an interesting year for the Florida Gators. The last couple of years, it's been the defense and the offense struggling behind. But this year, it's the defense that's really struggled and the offense that's been quite impressive. Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask, one of the best combos in football right now. And I'm not so concerned with Texas A&M's game against Alabama. I think Alabama's going to do that to everyone. The thing I'm more concerned about with them was the way they looked against Vanderbilt. This is a team that only put up 17 points against Vanderbilt. That's not going to be enough against this Florida Gators. I like the Gators big in this one.
All right, he says take the Florida Gators big in this one. Any concern here? Not a lot of people are looking at the yards allowed by that Gators defense, about 471 yards, 327 in the passing game. Any thoughts here on this Gators defense?
Yeah, the Gators defense is a big problem, but for once they actually have the luxury, the offense can make up for it. And I don't think the Texas A&M offense is good enough. I mean, they'll probably put up 21, maybe 24 points, but I see the Gators laying at least 35 in this one and winning this one.
Yes, also you have to factor that A&M and Alabama game, A&M getting up for that game, and of course you're in a physical battle, and of course now you're facing a Florida team with speed and they hit hard, so that's something to look at. Maybe Texas A&M a little softened up after that physical game with Alabama.
Yeah, and the other thing I could see too is their confidence being lost. I could see Alabama, Pitts gets an early touchdown or two, and the secondary is just going to be lost after what Alabama did to them, and I think it's going to be a long game for him.
All right, our buddy Shane Mickle here joined us here on the drive-through show as he's looking on his play here. Going to take the Gators over Texas A&M. All right, Shane, of course, we see you over at Pick Dogs having a fantastic NBA season over into football. So as we reach the bottom of the hour, what do you have over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I got 2 different packages tonight. I've got a play in this. I got 2 plays in the NBA game, and then my top MLB play in one package for $24.99. And then I've got another package that includes those 3 picks, another MLB pick, and a total winner on the WNBA play for $5 more. So hop on one of those packages. I'm looking for a big night.
All right, guys, check him out, Shane Mickle over at Pig Dogs Premium. He's having a fantastic year, and of course, you'll find his picks there as well as content over at Pig Dogs. All right, Shane, as always, great having you on the show. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you later in the week.
Sounds good. See you later. Have a good one.
All right, everybody, Shane Mickle here on our show, The Drive-Thru. Of course, we're here Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Pig Dogs and Sports Chat Plays YouTube channel, as well as other social media outlets. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, we welcome you to the show as well. That's streaming out there live to you on the show. And don't forget Mitch's show in the morning, 10:30 a.m., gets everything started on his morning show with the Pig Dogs crew. All right, I want to take a look here at this game. It's an ugly game. I'm going to tell you right now, it's an ugly game, but I really think I like this underdog here. It's LA Rams and Washington football team. All right, and in this game, I'm going to look taking the points with Washington at plus 9.5. Hey, look, Washington has a good front seven. They can pressure the quarterback. I know I got to hold my nose and put on my mask and everything to take this game, but hear me out here. Rams have been hit with a tough travel schedule. They came off back-to-back trips to the East Coast playing Philadelphia and Buffalo. Then they come home, and they were flat in that 17-9 win against the Giants. That Giants team, that defense is bad. I mean, really bad. Now they go all the way east and face Washington again. And Washington is trying hard for Rivera. You can see they're playing hard. And, LA in that win against the Giants, only 240 yards of offense, 58 on the ground. Cam Akers is banged up. Football team, they're holding opponents to 338 yards per game. Rams giving up 5. Here's the issue. The Rams run defense. They're allowing 5 yards to carry. And I think this is where Washington can exploit and move the football, have some ball control. Haskins can have some success. Again, this travel spot is horrible for the Rams. 3 of their past 4 games on the East Coast, and they made the trips back and forth. And we saw what happened to them against the Giants. That was an ugly game. This one will be even uglier. So hold your nose, put on your mask, and take the Washington football team at plus 9.5. All right, we're continuing here on the Drive-Thru. We have a lot more to come here, and we got another one of our Pig Dogs going to join us here on this segment. It's Chris Ruffalo. Chris, how you doing today? I hope I didn't turn you off with that Washington football team.
No, I actually got my mask on standby here because I think I'm with you on that one.
Oh my goodness.
I got my nose plugs. I got the old school gas mask with like the 2 little breathing things coming out the side. I'm with you on that one, Tony. I like Washington as well.
Yeah, it's just I looked at being on the West Coast. I looked at that. I saw that Giant game again yesterday for the second time, and I said, man, the Rams are just looking bad. And that travel gets to you. They go back and forth. Of course, with this COVID, they couldn't stay on the East. They went back and forth, and here you go again. It just seems like a spot for them to lay an egg.
And you know what the thing is that I don't know. I'm not trying to be the downer of the group thinking about this, but you got to think. There could be some of those COVID germs in an airport. You got to be very, very careful. I mean, these teams are probably taking private jets for all we know. But I'm just saying, I want to see NFL football as much as the next guys. These guys just got to be careful. We're seeing more frequent cases than we're seeing in some of these other leagues. So I'm just praying to the NFL, just be careful for us because we need you guys right now.
Well, yeah, and they're getting tough. They were throwing some words out there about forfeiter. If there's some wide spreads and they happen to catch stuff, they got cameras in these meeting rooms and all over the place. They're just looking to cause some forfeits. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some forfeits.
Neither would I. What was the joke we were saying off air? So maybe a team like the New York Giants and New York Jets may apparently coincidentally get COVID for the next 12 weeks, just in the race to get Trevor Lawrence. But then we're saying, well, maybe they'll wait the COVID forfeitures as a win so that the teams don't get credit for them. I think, to tell you the truth, I think that's more thinking than Roger Goodell wants to do at this point. I think he just wants to just get through the season. Someone just take this guy so we don't have to listen to it anymore. And let's just get through this season and move on to the next one.
Absolutely. All right. It's 2 for Tuesday, joined by Chris Ruffalo. We're going to get started with this Alabama and Ole Miss game. Of course, Ole Miss has that up-tempo offense that can give Crimson Tide some trouble. We've seen teams like this, but are the Rebels fit enough? Do they have enough defense to get in this number? How do you see this one?
I like to say that the Ole Miss Rebels play defense because there's absolutely no D going on in Oxford, Mississippi. This Alabama team, we say it year after year, that the Crimson Tide just keep reloading and retooling that offense. And and the defense goes along with it. As much as we like to see guys like Xavier McKinney and guys like that go out of that Alabama defense. It just always seems that Alabama has a next man up and a next guy waiting in the wings. And as far as Ole Miss goes, well, they've been playing a couple high-scoring games right out of the gate. Their first 2 games have seen an average of 84.5 points per game. You let Florida hang 51 on you. Kentucky put up 41, and with a missed extra point, we could talk about that game still being going on right now. I see Ole Miss hanging up maybe 40 to 50 points on Ole Miss here. The question is whether or not Ole Miss can do their part to get towards the total. I do think that they help get this one over the number, so I'm going to lean towards the Ole Miss Alabama game.
All right, Ole Miss and Alabama to go over, and we're going to take a look at that total right now on this screen. What do I see here? Ole Miss, Alabama.
I think it fell like a rock. It started at 74 and a half. And
oh, my goodness,
now,
67. Woo!
You know what? That's for me. I know a lot of people we talk about Brian Biller and his line movement, how much he likes to watch the lines. As far as I go, that's just less wood for us to chop. That's just less of a ways for us to go because I still like the over in this one. I mean, you look at the last last 3 meetings between these two teams, it's gone well over 100 points. So. Yeah,
that's a pretty big line. Let's see, over 67 points. Let me see if I got that in there. Let's see.
You did.
Yes, we did. All right, and we're going to get a second game here. I think we're kind of teasing the other one here. A second, so I know it's Ruffalo's 2-4. I got to remember I can't put the graphic on when you're giving pick one. So I got to remember that. All right, Chris, what do you got here for pick 2? I know you're looking at the Browns game.
I might bore people to death, but you can just leave it up there because the pick's going to stay the same. We talk about how the Colts are coming out of the gate strong, and Phillip Rivers is doing a good job leading this offense, and we're starting to see what the Colts are like actually having an experienced quarterback leading the charge. They weren't going very far with Jacoby Brissett, even though that was a team that made the playoffs a couple years ago. But, you're seeing how well the defense is playing for the Colts, and I'll give them credit. They lead the league right now. They're only giving up 13 points a game. The problem is, even though they're only allowing 4.4 yards per play, is that the Colts haven't faced anybody tough. I mean, you played the third easiest schedule in the league. You played 2 offensive teams in the Vikings and the Jaguars that, haven't been anything special about this year. And you go on now to face a Browns team that's won 3 straight, or averaging almost 40 points per game across those 3 games. Yes, they lost Nick Chubb to a knee injury, but you've still got Kareem Hunt stepping in. You had Odell Beckham looking like the next coming of I don't even know, of Jerry Rice in the backfield. Weaving through on the end around and running 50 yards for a touchdown. You've got Jarvis Landry filling in his part. And then you've got a scary pass rush with Myles Garrett and Joe Hayden in the secondary that can make a guy like Phillip Rivers make a lot of mistakes because he's had a trigger finger, for lack of a better term, in years past, and he hasn't been shy about making mistakes. I just think this is an ideal spot to go against the Colts, and you know what? I'm not overly fond of Baker Mayfield. That's not going to change. But with the way that the offense is playing, I'm not sure how you can turn down 3 points right now.
All right. You say can't turn down the points or take the Browns plus the points here against the Colts. I'm joined here by Chris Ruffalo here on the drive-through here as we're on every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. You can hear him in the morning on the morning show with Mitch. Chris, we're looking here as we reach just past the bottom of the hour. What do you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
I'm hoping to keep that solid NBA run going. Only thing I still have left on the board for tonight is I have my top play in the Heat and Lakers game 4. I'm really loving that play tonight. I feel very, very strongly about it. I put it as low as I can go up there for $24.99. As far as the rest of the week goes, I have stuff cooking already, and we're going to have stuff for the rest of the week. Trust me, guys, don't miss out on these. Start with maybe a 3-day package, even longer term. But this is going to be a great week to start profiting. We're going to start turning things around.
All right, guys, so check him out. Chris Ruffalo over at Pick Dogs Premium. Pick up one of his long-term packages. You'll definitely be a winner with Chris. You can listen and watch him in the morning show with Mitch and company, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Chris, is always good having your show. have a great night and enjoy the show tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then.
Sounds good, Tony. Have a good night.
All right, everybody. Chris Ruffalo here on the drive. We're continuing here on the show for Saturday college football. And we're looking at this Texas Tech and Iowa State game. I'm going to take Texas Tech here plus the 12.5. You know, Iowa State off the upset against the Sooners, but last year's team, they were a 5-loss program. You know, and the Hawkeyes, they have a loss by 17 at home to Louisiana, and they just beat TCU by 3 on the road. I know Alan Bowman is questionable, but his backup, Henry Colombi, he is completing 71% of his throws. You know, and it's just a plug-and-play offense. This is Texas Tech. You know, their star running back, Sir Roderick Thompson, is rushing for nearly 5.5 yards a carry. They've only allowed 1 sack on defense. Offensively, they've been really good on third down. And of course, when you look at Brock Purdy, he's only completing 56% of his throws. I don't think that's good enough in the Big 12. So give me all those points with Texas Tech here, plus the 13. All right, continuing here on the drive-thru. I'm Tony T, and we're going to continue on as we're going to welcome another guest on the show. And let me go ahead and reel him in here. It's El Ninos. El, how you doing today? How you enjoying this baseball? We're seeing Astros up 5-2 on the A's over in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, I believe I gave out the over on the show yesterday, which actually did make it to a premium play. I did like that one a lot. It's looking good so far, so I'm terribly sorry if it goes wrong, but I think it was the right pick anyway.
All right, joined here by El Ninos. Of course, what did you think of that morning game, seeing that Florida Marlins team blow that lead Atlanta?
Sorry, chopping up a bit.
Oh, no, I wanted to get your thoughts here on that Atlanta game.
With the NFL game?
Oh, the Atlanta Braves.
Or the MLB. Yeah, that was very high scoring game. That was one total. But I guess it was another over game. Again, the starting pitching matchup kind of kept me off it. I did have I stayed away from the total just because of starters. Obviously, these two lineups can go off anytime, which they did. And yeah, even against their best starters. And then obviously there's always the bullpen that give up more runs. So I just couldn't figure out how good of a start these starters were going to have, or how deep they were going to go. So I just stayed away from that total and stuck with the run line on the Braves. I just think they're the better team, and I thought they had the better starter as well. As good as, yeah.
All right. It's the Lakers and the big one here. Game number 4 between these teams. We saw we saw Miami get the win here in Game 3. It made Lake Nation a little concerned. Lakers were 7.5 in this one. The total was bouncing around between 219 and 218.5.
Yeah, hoping to get the 219 here, but unfortunately looks like Bam's inching closer to being a go in this one. Yeah, I definitely think he's going to be back. It sounds like if you try to read between the lines or whatever, it's pretty obvious. It's not like it sounds like the listing as doubtful, but I really don't see him playing in this series, unfortunately, as nice as that would have been. Yeah, torn plantar fascia is just with, and it takes a while to heal as well. See him back down soon. As I'm looking at the total in this game, I do have a play on the side as a premium pick. But looking at this total, again, I'm not as crazy about it as the side. But I think we do have a couple of things to back the under here. Of course, Bam being back is a big boost to their defense. Dragic being out is kind of a little blow to their offense. He's more of an offensive player than a defensive one. Well, you can come up with a defensive play here and there. But yeah, he's more offensive player, as I said. Miami's been playing some zone, which takes away a lot of the paint scoring for LeBron, AD, and the rest of the Lakers. Even the bigs. So that's basically trying to see if the Lakers can hit their shots. They're giving it to them, or some of the Lakers are getting wide open shots. So I think they're going to break some of those. And Butler had a huge game. I don't think he has 40 again. I don't think the Lakers would want to let him get 40 again. That wouldn't look good for them. He's a great player. He could very well go off again. the Heat haven't really gotten too hot from deep yet either, so that's a bit of a concern. You never know when they're going to start shooting well. And I guess you could make a couple cases for the over. As I said, the Heat could get hot. If the Lakers hit those open threes too, that would push it over. There's always the chance of it going to overtime, which would be terrible right now. But yeah, as I said, I'm taking the over just based on just thinking they're going to miss their threes, and I think Bam makes a big difference in that paint. And as I said, I'm thinking the Lakers will try to take away some of that easy scoring. Butler scored 40 without attempting a three, so that's not a good look for any defense right there, and I'm sure the Lakers will try to do something about that today.
Yeah, it looks like they could be doing something about that today here. I'm joined by El Ninos here looking at this Laker game. And, of course, you're looking here at the under between the Lakers and the Heat. That's El Ninos here on this one. How do you see the rest of the series going if you look the Lakers taking a commanding 3-1 lead here after this one?
Yes, I do. As I said, the number's probably pretty right around there. So, as I said, my side ATS is on the site. But I do think, the Lakers go up 3-1. I don't see them losing 2 in a row. They don't want to do that and start the series from scratch again. They want to take this lead and put it away. Yes, the Heat are a great team. They can compete with anyone. They don't care much who's in front of them. Butler's going to go up against the best. He wants to do that. It's not like he'll do it. That's what he wants to do. And, I just think Lakers a bit more star power there. And you could argue the Heat have the better role players. But, again, I just think too much star power from LeBron and AD.
All right, too much star power from LeBron and AD says El Ninos here as she's joining me on the drive-thru. All right, I'd like to get your thoughts here on this Game 1 in the NLDS series as the Dodgers and the Braves Dodgers and the Padres are going to go at it. It looks like it'll be Clevenger versus Buehler in this one. And we've got LA favored, obviously, about $1.60. The run, let's see what the total is on this one. This is now that we have Clevenger listed as the starter, we'll see where this total is. It's at 9 runs right now, so it's a bit of a high number, but we're seeing some hot weather in SoCal, so maybe that's one of the reasons we're seeing the total going up. And, of course, both the Dodgers and hot Padres hit the ball pretty well against St. Louis.
Absolutely. Again, two of the best lineups in the league here, and you got two pretty good starters. I like them, but they are capable of giving up home runs. They're not the team's best starters. I mean, maybe now that Lamet's out, you could argue Clevenger is. I like Clevenger. I think he's a good pitcher. As a Dodgers fan, I'm not happy to see that pitching change. But again, as I said, Dodgers great lineup too, and Buehler's a great pitcher as well. Should be a great matchup. And I have a play on the side and total on this one, so I'm trying not to give too much away. But I'm looking forward to this series, not just this game, but it should be a great, fun series to watch.
Yeah, definitely should be a really fun series to watch. And how do you see the Dodgers going in their pitching rotation? Of course, with Kershaw, there's no Lamet in this one, so how do you see it playing out?
Well, it looks like, Kershaw's expected tomorrow, so obviously huge pitching there, no matter who they throw on there, the way he's been pitching this year. But, of course, Lamet would have been their best choice. As you said, he's not going to be a go. So, huge edge to the Dodgers tomorrow. A bit of a better pitching matchup today, I guess, for the Padres. But, again, you never know. Padres can go off on anybody. I mean, it's hard to say that Kershaw is going to give up too many runs, but you never know this Padres lineup.
All right, now that I got you here, we don't have this game covered for tomorrow morning, so I'll get your brain here with Miami, Lopez, and we got Ian Anderson, the left-hander, going for Atlanta. Of course, Atlanta up 1-0 in this series, and we're seeing a total on this one between 8.5 and 9. We're seeing more 9s everywhere, but I like this Ian Anderson. He's pitched well, but you could expect here a big line. We've got it here. Atlanta about minus 195, almost minus 200, and it's Pablo Lopez listed here for Miami.
Yeah, he said Anderson's probably been one of the most impressive rookies. We haven't seen too much of him, but what we have seen has been very good. He gave up 3 runs in 4.2 innings to the Mets, which I guess isn't great. But beyond that, he's been pretty great. I expect him again to have a good game. But again, Miami's been really hitting the ball well too. So again, we talked about him in in the last series, and he pitched well there, and I think he has another good game, honestly. But again, whether this total is going to be a bit tricky with these two pitchers because they're young. I mean, Yeah, Anderson's a rookie in the MLB. Lopez hasn't pitched too much in the majors either, and he's been pretty good this season. But we've seen him have rough outings before, and this Braves lineup's been on fire. So wish him well, I guess. But I think he's in for a rough one tomorrow.
All right, El Nino's here joining us here on the drive-through as we're taking a look here at the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. It should be an interesting series. Of course, we'll be following here on the Pick Dogs site as well as on our show daily at 6 p.m. Eastern time as we come on after. Well, Mitch's show starts us off here at 10:30 in the morning, and of course we move into the afternoon hours. Continuing here with Ninos and Al, of course, as we reach the near the top of the hour, what do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yes, a few plays left up for today, and as I said, I have my side and total on this Dodger game. I have the NBA game. I have the side against the spread there. Still got a 5-pack up if you want to check that out, and yeah, I also made a MLB play for tomorrow. Got my NFL play for Thursday. Again, made a play on the side and total for that one. So yeah, got some stuff brewing, and we'll be taking a look at college games next.
Yeah,
College
definitely looking at some college football. Looking forward to some college football for this week here on the drive-thru. Joined by El Ninos here on the show. Al, it's always great having you on the show. You have yourself a great week, and we'll talk with you. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll have you on tomorrow with some more discussion.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Georgia and Tennessee, and I got Al Ninos here. He can hear me out here. So Al, you tell me what you think about this one. I'm going to go here and take Georgia, lay the points. It's now down to 12. I see some 11.5 some spot. I just think it's tough to go against this Georgia defense. I mean, Arkansas was an improved team. They held the Razorbacks to 10 points last week. They held Auburn to 6, 218 yards of offense. The Bulldogs are limiting opponents just 2.3 yards per rush, only 4.8 through the air. And, 31% on third down. They're getting off the field. And I will say this. The Bulldogs have Tennessee's number. They have pounded them the past 3 seasons. I like what I'm seeing from this quarterback, Stetson Bennett. And good performance against the Tigers in the victory. He's completing 65% of his throws. But, Tennessee, this is going to be a big test for them. It's a huge step up in class beating South Carolina, Missouri, but now you're facing a big boy here. I don't know if they're ready for this one, Al, but I've seen I got some value, and the number was 13 yesterday. It's 12, 11.5. Maybe wait some more. What's your thoughts on that one? Yeah, you might get a better number there. I mean, it's a pretty big number, so can't really blame too many people for taking the points either. But I have to agree with you that Georgia's just the better team, and defense not only wins championships, but it does help you cover spreads as well. And I don't think laying 12 in this game is too many here. I agree. I think just the better side on both sides of the ball, and especially on defense.
Yeah, I think especially the big difference here is the defense of Georgia. I saw them the way they pretty much stuffed Auburn last week. Bo Mix was not very accurate. No,
again, it's a lot of pressure going up against this defense. So, yeah, I think Tennessee's in for a rough one here, and I agree with you. I think Georgia might run away with this one.
All right, let's join here by Al Ninos here as we took a look at this one between Georgia and Tennessee. All right, Al, have a great day. We'll talk with you tomorrow.
All right, have a good one, guys.
All right, it's our buddy Al Ninos here on the drive-thru. All right, let's switch gears here and welcome make his debut on our show will be Damien Sosh. Damien, you put the leaderboards. Finally have you on the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Tony. How about you?
Oh, can't complain. Things are going well. Of course, watching some of this baseball. I'd like to get some of your thoughts here on this Houston game. We're now bottom 7th, 5-2, as Houston looking to take a 2-0 series lead.
Yeah, I'm actually on Houston in this game, so things are looking good for me right now. It seems like finally the Houston bats have awakened. During the regular season, I think they were only hitting around maybe 220, 230 as a team. Well, the bats have certainly woken up so far in this series against the Oakland A's. They have some pretty good pitchers on their staff. The bullpen came through yesterday. They look solid, and I know a lot of people don't like the Astros because of what happened, but we're out to make some money. And right now, I think the Astros are getting hot, and I'm keeping my eye on them to keep making us some money here.
Yeah, they're getting good pitching. Framber Valdez, we saw him in that Twin series in relief, and that's the thing. That their starting rotation's been coming through here, and now Oakland, hitting in the shadows. As the shadows hit over Dodger Stadium here as we hit a 3:45. We'll probably get sunset close to 6:30, so there's still enough sunlight. But now Oakland now haven't hit no shadows in Dodger Stadium.
That's going to make it really tough on the Oakland hitters. Anybody hitting within those shadows, it's going to be tough now on the rest of the way. So I'm feeling confident. Hopefully the Astros can hang on to this win for us here.
All right, joined here with Damon Sash. We're coming with the play from college football as we're going to be looking at this Virginia Tech and North Carolina contest. And North Carolina, there's a lot of hype surrounding this team. I know they've had some struggles covering spreads, and of course Virginia Tech, they got hit with that COVID last week, and their coaches, but they were able to get the win against Duke. As you're gonna come in here with this play. How do you see it?
Yeah, Mac Brown, he's turned things around quickly here in North Carolina. They're off to 2-0 start, ranked number 8 in the country. They're pretty balanced offense. Defensively, they're only giving up 54 yards rushing per game. Very impressive. They escaped Boston College last week. They were a 2-point conversion away from heading to overtime. They ended up picking off the conversion and hanging on there for the victory. Justin Fuente, what a job he's done here at Virginia Tech. You mentioned them hit with COVID. They had 21 guys out last week. That included 4 starting corners. Their top 4 corners, the starting free safety, and they still managed that 38-31 victory over Duke. And normally, when I think, at least in my case, when I think of Virginia Tech, I think of Frank Beamer. I think of special teams and defense. But this year, it's the Hokies offense that's really getting the job done. They're absolutely mauling. I mean, it's only been 2 games, but they're averaging 319 yards rushing per game. And they're doing it with their backup quarterback right now, Braxton Burmeister. He started the first 2 games for Virginia Tech. There's a good chance that they get Herndon Hooker back for this game, and that's only going to improve this Virginia Tech offense. They got a graduate transfer, a kid named, Khalil Herbert. He ran for over 200 yards last week against Duke. He's averaging 12 yards per carry, over 26 carries on the season. The kid's just really good. He returns kicks. The Hokies are happy to have landed him from Candace. I know North Carolina had that good rush defense, but I think the Hokies going to be able to move the ball on the ground. Even with all those guys out, they managed 7 sacks against Duke. And I think they're going to be able to pressure the North Carolina quarterback, Sam Howell. He was only 14 of 26 last week. And I'll take the Hokies and the points in this game. Right now they're getting about 5, and I'll take those points in Virginia Tech in this one.
Yeah, I can't argue that, because when you look at strength of schedule, that's something that's baked in the numbers, is that basically the teams you play. They face a couple of inexperienced offensive teams. Syracuse has had a ton of problems. Boston College is not experienced, but now I think they're facing their biggest test.
I agree. I don't think they've seen quite the rushing attack that Virginia Tech's going to be able to lay on them. And I have to admit, early in the season, I was on North Carolina State when they played Virginia Tech. But they've proven to me that they're coming to play. I know COVID's hit them, but they're able to regroup. They're only going to be getting these guys back. They're going to get stronger. The offensive line has just been mauling teams, and all the quarterbacks has to do is turn around and hand the ball off. They're going to be in excellent shape in this football game.
Yeah, they certainly will. All right, Damon Sash, join us here on the drive-thru, guys. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, breaking down the games. We still have a lot more plays coming. We're going to take a look at Yankee game as well a little later. Damon, I know we've seen you perform well over at Pig Dogs Premium as we reach the top of the hour. What do you have going on at Pig Dogs?
I still have a play on the board. I have a total in the NBA game tonight between the Heat and the Lakers. So, if you get on there, you can quick catch that one before the tip-off. And then I'm definitely going to have plays up, probably later on this evening, early tomorrow morning. I'm still looking at the cards, finding the best value for everybody out there. And you can always pick up one of my packages, 7-day plan, 30-day package. They're all out there and available. Right now I'm heating up. I'm pretty hot over the last 7 days, and I'm looking to keep that going. 5-0 in college football last Saturday, so we're looking to keep a nice run here going.
That's right. Check out Damien Sash over at Pig Dogs Premium, man. He's been lining up over there, man. You went on some crazy run. Where's it been in the NBA football?
Basically, on the NBA, I was hot for a little bit there. Major League Baseball right now, college football. So, I'm just plugging away, keeping things going. It's a totally different environment now with the COVID. You got to take into account and travel. No teams traveling. It's a lot different than it has been in years past. But it's different. It's fun, and just looking to make myself money, everybody out there money. So we're gonna keep it going.
Absolutely, guys. So check out Damon Sosh over at Pig Dogs. Damon, it's always great having you on the show, on your first show. I know we're going to have you a couple days a week, so we'll talk to you. Looks like you'll be on Thursday.
Thursday, yep. All right, talk to you soon, Tony.
All right, our buddy Damon Sosh here on Pig Dogs on our drive-through show. Be sure to check out Damon over at Pig Dogs Premium. Like I said, you'll find his premium packages there. Pick up one of those long-term packages. Get on board. We got some 7-day, 30-day passes there. That'll get you all of his plays. He's been a solid performer at Pig Dogs. You've seen him on top of the leaderboards. All right, continuing here on the drive-through. Just the game here I wanted to talk about this. Actually, before we get to this college football game, we're about 15 to 20 minutes away from the start of the Yankee and Rays game, and that's going to be my free pick for today. We're going to go ahead and take the New York Yankees at plus 110 odds. I know it's Debbie Garcia here going for New York. 4 good starts, 2 that were not so good, but he's gotten deep into his games. He faces the Rays for the first time. And of course, we got Tyler Glasnow that's going to be on the hill here for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's allowed, 9 runs in the past 19 2/3 of innings. And tell you this here, this Yankee lineup has just been on fire. When you look at the past 3 games, they're averaging 10 runs a game. They're facing strong pitching lineups from the Indians and the Rays in that sequence there of 3 games. I think their lineup's too strong. I'm going to go ahead and take the Yankees at a plus price here and against the Rays. And remember when you look at some of the Yankees numbers this year during the regular season, a lot of their bats have been they had a lot of players side, so you really can't take into account the head-to-head here with the Rays and Yankees because the Yankees have been shorthanded. But I have to look at this. What I'm seeing here on what I've seen the last 3 games, this lineup's hot. They're hitting the ball, so I can only look at the Yankees, especially if you're giving me plus money. All right, guys, as we continue here on the drive-through, one more game I want to look at, and we're back to college football. I was looking at this Auburn game against Arkansas, and I'm going to take the points here. I saw it at plus 16.5 earlier, and let's see if it's moved around. I want to go on record here with the latest number here. Arkansas is going to get 14 in this game. All right, so I'll take the 14 with Arkansas. I know it's been a big line move from the open, but I just look at Auburn coming off that physical battle with Georgia last week. I think it was a tough loss for them to lose to this team because there were big hopes for Auburn to see if they match up players in the SEC and went down. They also had a tough game against Kentucky, so back-to-back physical games, and their defense surrendering 413 yards a game. But Arkansas coming off a good showing against Mississippi State. But here again with Auburn, Bo Nix really struggling with his accuracy. Razorbacks have covered 4 straight as an underdog. I'll take the points here. We've seen the big line move in this one. Now it's down to plus 14. That's where I'll go plus 14 with the Arkansas Razorbacks. All right, here, guys, is the drive-through. We're on Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time as we break down all the games. We'll have a big show for you tomorrow as well. And, of course, don't forget that morning show at 10:30 in the morning with Mitch and company. All right, let's take a look here at the show picks for today. And I hope we can get up there. Let's see. Here we go. We started off with Alex Smarts. And Alex said go ahead and take Georgia against Louisville. That was a Friday game. And then we went with Shane Mickle. Shane liked the Florida Gators at minus 6.5 against Texas A&M. And Chris, of course, it's 2 for Tuesday with Chris Ruffalo. So Chris Ruffalo giving us 2 plays. He says take the Browns at plus the points. I'm seeing 2 in some places against the Colts. And then Alabama Ole Miss, take it over 67 points. He thinks that Ole Miss will get enough points to take this over. He looks for a lot of offense from Alabama. El Ninos, Lakers Heat, take it under the total of 219. Talk to Damien Tosh. She said Virginia Tech plus the 5 against North Carolina. Yours truly, New York Yankees plus the 115 against the Tampa Bay Rays. I got to take the offense that's been too strong for this team, so I'm going to go ahead and take the New York Yankees. All right, I'm Tony T. This has been the drive-through, guys. Let's go ahead and bring in the crew from our show today. We'll give you guys a send-off, a way of goodbye, And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Hold up. We're stopping right now. It hasn't stopped completely yet. We're signed off, right?
I'm not sure if it's lagging or if we're off, but I think we're off.
I think so.
Oh, no. Wait, are we?
My
Nope.
software's.
We're still on.
We are still on, even though it's off.
Let's see what's going on right now.
All right, let's see here. It's trying to stop.
Still
Stop
no
streaming.
overcovered on the